these are the kind of views that André Borschberg will be seeing if everything goes to plan tomorrow. Welcome to Solar Impulse TV. You're watching our last energy neutral morning show of this flight, because around this time tomorrow, maybe a little earlier, we will hopefully be talking about landing in Hawaii and what has been an extraordinary flight. We have pulverized the previous record for the longest ever solo flight set by Steve Fossett in 2006. André Borschberg is still in the sky, breaking records every single second. I've got the big guns to start this show. I have Raymond, mission director, and of course, good friend of André Borschberg. And we have the man himself in the cockpit, André Borschberg. Can you hear me, André?
Yes. Hi, Conor. Hi, Raymond. Can you hear me?
Il est venu, mais on l'a pas entendu.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Yes, I can hear you at least from my side. I hope you can hear me from your side as well.
Ouais, André, on t'entend. Hello, my friend. We hear you very well.
Ah. Oh, c'est bien. How are you doing? Where are you now?
Well, I'm at the MCC, not in the working shift, and I was invited to speak to you as your friend. It's really fantastic. I'm completely moved to see you here the last morning before the mornings for the landing, and I remember the many times we talked about this last years when we were together in the car going to Payerne, and you said it's going to be incredible, and it is incredible in fact. So it's fantastic. It's daylight. I heard when I went to bed from Jean-Luc that it was difficult for you, and I think it was most probably the most difficult night for you, but I'm proud of you. You are here at the sunlight now. Fantastic.
Yeah, that's true. But you know, it was difficult on one side, but thanks to your team, to Yves and Leila first, and then Christophe and Florian thereafter, who helped me to manage to define the right strategy. We reached sunlight with enough energy, so we are very happy, starting to recharge. As Conor just mentioned, we reached this energy neutral moment, which of course is always a big suspense. And as it's the last days, it has even a different taste on top of it.
André, now we are getting to a really interesting point of the flight now, because we're pushing the plane to its limits, and we're pushing you to your limits as well. And we've had a few little problems, but overall, it's incredible that this plane and you have managed to fly for this long, really smashing that previous record for solo flight set by Steve Fossett in 2006.
The flight that Steve made, in fact, was the flight around the world with a normal airplane. So he had the record to fly solo for such a long time. And at the same time, in fact, he did the first flight ever around the world, non-stop, but with a traditional airplane. And you know, we met Steve a few months before his accident, and we could exchange. On our side, we were, preparing the project. On this side, of course, he was sharing his experience. That was very, very interesting and touching moments. Unfortunately, he's not here anymore. But it's not so much the question of records. I think, as you rightly said, we had some technical difficulties, but these are more on support systems, in fact, for the pilots. The technology itself, solar generator, motors, batteries, all this is really functioning well. I mean, I shouldn't say that because we are not finished yet, but up to now, I tell you, during the last 4 days, it has been working extremely smoothly. And I think that's certainly something which is very particular to this technology. It's reliability and long endurance.
Now, Andre, you're flying further south than you have been so far. Now, flying south means longer nights. Longer nights means less sun. To what extent has that made things more complicated for you?
Well, it works on both sides. Like you say, longer nights, it means you need more energy to reach the sunrise, so you need to store more energy, and that's what we try to do. You try to save more to be more efficient. So that's how on what we worked is of this efficiency, and all the partners who provide technologies to make just this airplane more efficient. The companies like Solvay and Bayer just brought very light materials to have this airplane of the size of a 747 not exceeding the weight of a car. On the other side, as you say, if the nights are longer, of course, the days are shorter. If the days are shorter, you collect less, or you have less time, in fact, to collect your energy. So the goal is to balance all this. But as we fly different parts of the world, at different latitudes, at different seasons, you need a flexible airplane. But for sure, you cannot do everything. You cannot fly in the northern hemisphere in winter when the nights are extremely long. That's for the future.
Now, we know that you can't sleep for very long. At the best of times, your rest periods last for 20 minutes, and throughout those 20 minutes, you're not sleeping throughout the whole time. And as we get on to this stage of the flight, how is your accumulated fatigue, how is that affecting the extent to which you're able to stay concentrated and vigilant?
Oh, it certainly affected a little bit. I don't think it's dramatic. We trained also for this, so I think I learned by spending days in the simulator to try to recognize, in fact, a little bit the symptoms. But you know, there's one thing which is extremely interesting when you sleep, but this period of 20 minutes is that there is no end of the day. In fact, you work during the day, or you enjoy during the day. Sometimes I make a nap, then comes the night, and in the night I do the same. So I enjoy the night as much as I enjoy the day. Both are beautiful, both are interesting, especially now. I've been flying over this cloud cover, which is still here, and with a full moon on top of it. I mean, it was like another world. So I could, by sleeping just 20 minutes at a time, I could enjoy both sides of the day, I mean, day and night.
Now, the next challenge for you is crossing a front. When we were waiting to take off for many, many weeks, one of the main problems was the crossing of the front around about this stage now. And now we're almost there. And what will the strategy be for you now in order to cross that front safely?
Well, I think the strategy was very important first for Luc and Wim, our meteorologists, who had to identify where the front was weak, because if the front is very strong, we cannot cross it, and that's the reasons why we couldn't take off. But now they find a place, an area where the front is weak, so it's not too big, so it's doable with this airplane. But still, I will, during the day, climb again to 8,500 meters, around 28,000 feet. And by doing so, moving forward, I will simply cross over. You know, it's like jumping over a wall. As it's not too strong, with the technology and the performance of this airplane, I will be able to do it today. And at the end of the day, when I will start to go down, the front will already be behind, and I will be hopefully heading for Hawaii.
Now, I've just heard that the countdown has begun. The last minute, Andre, before we cross energy neutral morning, that crucial period when you'll go to energy positive, meaning that the sun is doing all the work. The sun will be powering the plane and also recharging the batteries to make sure that you can go throughout the day. There we go, less than 30 seconds to go. And as I said, this is our last energy neutral morning show. This is the last time that we'll go through this full cycle. And after that, it's going to be a great moment. I'm really looking forward to talking to you for the landing show. I know we're not quite there yet, Andre. There's still a bit of time to go. But now as the final seconds count down, we are there now. Just 5 seconds to go. 4, 3, 2, 1. There you go, Andre. You are now officially energy positive. And we look forward to speaking to you very, very soon. But before you go, Andre, I know that you've been asking a few times a very, very important question. Where is the best place to get a steak in Hawaii? I can promise you we're looking into it. And I've also got your daughter, Ella, on the case. She's in Hawaii. And we're going to have a chat to make sure that you get the best steak in Hawaii.
That's great. That's great. So thank you for this, Conor. But you know, in some ways, of course, I'm extremely happy to see the family in Hawaii. I mean, that was something which was a little bit sad to leave them, you know, on the side when I was taking off with this airplane. But thinking about the mission, I'm also a little bit sad now that it's the end, because it's such a fantastic experience. I cannot believe I've been 4 days here. I mean, I don't know. For me, it's like a short time. It's like a long time, but it has been so incredible that I'm sure I will have difficulty, in fact, to get out of this cockpit when the time comes.
Yeah, Andre, it's incredible. You know, in 15 seconds now, you will be 4-day airborne. Because I have it here on my Omega watch. You know, I pushed the chronometer when you set takeoff power 4 days ago. Now we are now 96 hours airborne now, just now. It's fantastic, really. And I'm so happy that we will spend the last, in a few hours, I will be again on shift and spend the next night with you. You know that you have to spend the night and you will land. We plan your landing for sunrise, which will be going to be beautiful, I'm sure. But we have another day to fly, the last front and the last night. So we'll for sure don't open champagne here before your touchdown, but the champagne will be in the fridge.
And I just want to add, Andre, before you go, that it's been fantastic seeing you speak with so much passion after all these days. And you're an incredible pilot. Everyone here has nothing but respect for what you're doing. And well, it's going to be wonderful. Whatever happens between now and then, we'll be following you all the way. We're all very positive it's going to finish well, and we look forward to seeing you out of that plane. I don't know what the smell will be like in the cockpit by then, but maybe then you can have a shower, and we'll speak to you on the ground.
We'll see. But you know, we should have respect for the entire team of Solar Impulse. First, the engineers who have designed and built this airplane, which is, I mean, truly extraordinary, unique, extraordinary, new, and they did a fantastic job. And the control center that you know now extremely well, as you are part of the group. And without this team and the team that Raymond assembled, and I remember the first time we talked about it is many, many years ago, I don't know, 7, 8 years ago, this team is, it's not a team, I mean, it's more than that. You know, it's people you trust, people you can discuss difficult things, they are here to help, they're not here to do their job. I mean, that's a mission for them. So the type of relationship we have is completely different. And to do this with my friend Raymond is a fantastic pleasure.
Thank you, Andre. Thank you, and enjoy every minute of the next day. It's fantastic. I'm so happy for you.
Bye-bye, Andre. We'll follow you through to the last moment.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
That was lovely. Speaking to Andre Borschberg live in the cockpit, it's incredible that we can hear him, we can see him, and we'll be finding out a bit more about the communication system here, which is being developed by one of our partners, Swisscom. Speak to Roger Jägerlehner, who was there in the front room, making sure that we could hear and see Andre properly. If it's okay with you, Raymond, I know you're not supposed to be on a shift, but if we could stick around with you a few moments just to go through and explain to people where we are now. Let's take a look first of all about how many kilometers have already elapsed on this flight and how many we have left to go. I think we can see that, and of course this page is taken from our website, solarimpulse.com. There we go. Right, so
magic number.
a magic number, oh yes, and you were right there. 1803 was when we took off, and you
That was the distance.
You mentioned that point. 1803 GMT. And 96 hours, you said. Now, distance-wise, 6969. Let's just move away from that number a little bit to move on to this one. Yes. 1202. Let's try and concentrate on this.
This is the remaining, yeah.
1202 remaining. But that's still a... there, you see that we've been censored now. They've taken it away. Oh, we're back. Okay, 1202. This is still a whole flight. It's still an entire day
it's
flight.
like the first flight we've done, I think, across America, for example, except the longest, which was from Phoenix to Dallas. But it's a normal Solar Impulse day flight. And, you know, the incredible thing is that we just started a month ago when we flew from Nanjing to Nagoya. It was the first time with this new aircraft that we flew more than 24 hours. And with the first aircraft, we flew only once more than 24 hours. And now we flew 4 nights, and we'll do the 5th one in a few hours. So it's really incredible, the gradient of learning, of experience. And we are... in comparison to four days ago, we have gained a lot of experience, I tell you, so I'm confident for the next legs also. We'll have to work for sure after landing, to work on the aircraft and so, but it's really incredible what we are doing now.
Let's look at the flight path as well, and we can see the direction the plane will take between now and Hawaii, and there'll be a holding pattern included in that. Then we can see this holding pattern here, and this is to make sure the timing is correct for crossing that cold front, as he called it, Andre, jumping over a wall.
Yes, it was initially planned to have 1 hour holding before the night or in the night. We decided yesterday to skip this holding and to do it this morning. And why holding? To have sufficient height. We will start the climb, I don't know, in a few hours or a few minutes, I don't know exactly. But the idea is really to have sufficient height over the front when we cross it. So if we don't hold, we will hit the front. So let's hold before and climb in front of the front, if I can say. In front of the front. Cross above.
And then we'll get over that wall, and that will be the last big hurdle in terms of weather patterns between then and arrival in Hawaii. It's the last big problem in terms of weather that we have to handle between now and Hawaii.
Yes, the weather for the landing is supposed to be fine. Light winds, no rain, so this will be an easy one.
Okay, well, thank you very much, Raymond. I appreciate you talking to us. We were speaking to Andre just now, if you've just joined us, about really pushing the plane to the limit, pushing the pilot to his limits as well. And he's doing an incredible job so far, and we fully expect him to do a great job right through until a successful landing in Hawaii. However, because we're in uncharted territory, we had to hope for the best, but also prepare for the worst. And the entire team, led by Raymond here, and the engineers, took us through some crisis simulations. Remember those emergency simulations we were doing? It feels like ages ago now. Well, it was ages ago. And we had to really go through how we would react in the worst scenario. For example, if there's a fire in the engine or problem with the oxygen. Do you remember how you felt during those periods? They were emotional periods, weren't they?
Yeah, I remember it was great. Just another point, I just saw Andre eating with his spoon. And you know, the first takeoff he did out of Abu Dhabi, the first thing he asked 30 minutes after takeoff, where is my spoon? So you see, we are learning. Huh? Every time we are learning, so the spoon is here. So bon appétit, André. So yes, this training was very good for the full team to how to learn how to react in case of crisis. So yeah, this was very good. I hope we will not use it in the next 24 hours.
Well, the team reacted very well, and just to remind you, we put together a video of that situation. This was the crisis simulation that took place, it seems like 5 years ago now, here in Monaco at the Mission Control Center.
The first incident was code yellow, so we had an oxygen leak on day 3, which was critical because we had already too much oxygen consumption in the previous days. So we were in an alert state. We had to recalculate everything if the remaining oxygen would be enough to reach Hawaii or not. I gave a scenario to a pilot, which was a team member sitting in a special room, and he had to reply as a pilot would do. So he gave all his indications he had, the failures and stuff, and I wanted to see if our mission engineer and Capcoms react how they should, if they had to discuss what are we going to do, can we still do the flight, do we have to improve the routing, can we change altitudes, stuff like this.
So we have different tasks to do. The first one was to train and validate the concept of having an engineer specialist team, which is not in the front room, but which would deal in case of a very special situation. Other points we need to train, and this is always the case, it's the communication between the pilot and the MCC, Capcom, and mission engineer, because we can see in such an exercise that you are almost in real life. So prepare what you want to write, bring it here and validate. Do it.
And escape it.
Go down.
In windy conditions.
It's like a simulator when you train in the aircraft, you have a burning engine and you forget that you are in a simulation. You think you are in the aircraft, so you work like in real case.
He's safe. He's still in climb. We continue climbing.
Yeah.
Is this correct?
No, we stopped the climb. Level 200.
The one concern I have is that we're not in an immediate danger.
After the problem was solved with the oxygen, the technical coordinator together with the system engineer, they found a solution for that. So we could manage to go to Hawaii. So I had to tighten up the screw a little bit as the coordinator for the training. So as said, there was a smoke and fire in the gondola. This means that we have immediately emergency, code red, which also led to a prepared bailout scenario. So the pilot goes through all the checklists, what he has to do. And then in the end, when we really have a fire on the aircraft, the pilot had to bail out.
I don't know, it's getting really hot. I want you to call my wife and just want to speak with her quickly.
Do it. Okay, this is already in the case. For the time being, we continue to review the checklist, and
it's very important to be ready for the worst case. So that's what we do in those trainings. And if you don't think about it, if it happens, then you are surprised and you will do errors. So if you try to think on every situation, maybe you can react correctly. That's the goal of it. Jean-Luc a pu lui parler directement.
Yeah, I think it was good, but we could see during the training, everyone took it so serious. You really could see the emotion of all the people involved. The Capcom was was a tough situation for them, also for the mission engineer, and also the media guys they were under big pressure. They had to improvise all the time, and that's what I wanted to see, and I think everyone performed quite well. Of course, we have to improve even more. You can always improve.
Yes, we can always improve. That's what we try to do here, and the team has been learning and improving, as Raymond said, every single day. Now, we don't want to count our chickens before they're hatched, but we did want to show you the first pictures we have of our team in Hawaii. And we have there Noemi from our team. I'm going to have to use a telephone to speak to her because, as I say, these are just the images we have. Now, Noemi, I'm just going to ask you the one question. I'd like you to describe the scene, give us an idea of where Solar Impulse is likely to arrive from, and most importantly, what is this photo shoot going on behind you?
Hi Conor, aloha Monaco. So this is Solar Impulse team in Hawaii. We're here in one of the most beautiful beaches of the island we're currently on. And we're not too far from the airport where Solar Impulse is gonna land hopefully very soon. The photo shooting taking place behind me is because as we are here taking advantage of this beautiful scenery, so do other crew. It's a very well-renowned spot for photo shooting and video.
Okay, Noemi, so tell us now, if you could point out where Solar Impulse is likely to arrive from. I think it's going to be behind you. Well, I hope it is anyway.
Yes, we're expecting Solar Impulse to arrive just from behind me. So we're gonna be waiting for Andre here and hope for the best in the next 24 hours. So we'll be waiting, and the whole crew here in Hawaii has been preparing since the landing. Everyone has been working since we landed here, and to make sure we have good coverage, that all the logistics are ready for Andre when he arrives.
Okay, thank you very much, Noemi. Great to see you in front of the camera for a change, because normally you're going to be behind the camera with the rest of the team, Antoine, Bruno and Jon, and I'm counting on you. I know you'll deliver some fantastic pictures of Solar Impulse landing in Hawaii.
Yes, we'll do our best. It's been a pleasure hearing you.
Thank you very much. That's Noemi from our camera team waiting in Hawaii for Andre Borschberg to land. I've still got Raymond Claire with me. Thank you very much for staying with us, Raymond. And it looks fantastic out there, doesn't it?
Oh, yes. But here in Monaco, it's also fantastic.
It's not too bad as well. Okay, so this is another map we can look at, giving an idea of how far we've come. We are well over, I think, 85% of the way there. Still, though, a full Solar Impulse flight to go. And the distance we have to travel from now until Hawaii is longer than some of the day flights that we've already done, just to give you an idea of just how extraordinary this 5-day flight is. And
don't be afraid, he's not flying backwards.
That's exactly
he's just holding.
It's exactly what I was going to say. Now, we often get this question, Raymond, as well. Why is the plane facing the wrong way? Are you heading back to Nagoya? I think it's safe to say that we're not planning to head back to Nagoya.
Very important, yes.
Yes, I think that would take quite some time. Wonderful. Thank you very much, Raymond. And there's one more thing that I want to show people, which was quite fun. Now, this was the moment when Andre crossed over the meridian, the international date line, and he went back 24 hours. And something very strange happened to him. And we monitor pilot health as much as we can. I wonder how worried you are when you saw this. Let's take a look at what happened to Andre when he crossed the meridian.
And Andre, when you have time, we'd like you to reduce power and start the descent to maximize the battery charging, the current, temperature and everything. What I saw before with the tail view camera, I think the clouds is good. Huh? And now, oh, okay. Oh, it's terrific, yeah. It's great.
I don't know what happened, but then he was spending so much time in this airplane.
C'est pour ça qu'il est si lourd cet avion, je comprends maintenant.
Oh, that was extremely worrying, wasn't it? But he managed to have a good shave and cut his hair. This is what happens when you're on very, very long flights. Very, very strange things can happen. Now, I have with me some members of the team, the wonderful team that Andre said. I don't know if you heard him saying how wonderful you are, which was very nice, and it's true. We have Martin PFISTER, who is from our partner Schindler, electrical engineer, and we have Roger Jägerlehner, who is from Swisscom, and we heard Andre talking about Swisscom and the work you do. And communication is incredibly important, Roger, and luckily we're able to not just hear André, which would be one thing, but actually see him in really good quality as well. So could you just explain to me how you at Swisscom have managed to make this happen?
So Swisscom developed the satellite communication solution between the aircraft.
Interruption, something strange is happening. I don't know what happened there. I think that one of your rivals is trying to hack in, Roger, jealousy of what you've managed to achieve at Swisscom. It's very, very strange. I think this is what happens now. We're getting near Hawaii, and strange things are happening. We hope it won't happen again. Anyway, let's carry on where we left off. Now, let's go back to Swisscom and how you've managed to, in this very, very lightweight plane where energy efficiency is everything, keeping everything as lightweight as possible, have a system that allows us to hear and also see André Borschberg.
Yeah, so we built the satellite communication solution between the aircraft and the ground, so we get the voice of the pilot, we can even see into the aircraft with a small video, and we can send weather data to the pilot so he can see where he should fly and which regions he should avoid.
So not just us having a chat with him like there, but also ensuring the telemetry. And in a project like this, we can't have a breakdown, can we? We have to ensure that we know what's happening with the pilot's health. For example, the oxygen level in his blood, which we measure every time he's at high altitude. And all the information that's coming from the plane has to be sent and be correct and sent as quickly as possible.
That's correct. There are hundreds of sensors continuously sending information down, which are then analyzed by colleagues in the mission control center. And if there's an interrupt for a few seconds, that's okay. But if there's an interrupt for an hour or so, there would be quite some problem for the team, and he would be alone, and that would be quite bad.
Yeah, it would be quite bad. Well, technically, he can fly without the mission control. This is another question that came
absolutely.
up. Some people, I know we've had some comments, people saying, well, the plane is being flown from here, as if he was just a passenger. That's not the case. The plane is being flown by André Borschberg. He is the pilot. And if there were a problem in the worst case scenario where we didn't get telemetry from the ground, André could continue on his own, but it would be very, very difficult.
I think in this 5-day leg he would be just lost and he would not survive. But yeah, I think it's quite helpful that we can guide him, and a short interrupt would be no problem, but a longer time would be an issue.
Okay, well, thanks for explaining that, Roger. And also, Martin Pfister, welcome to you, because we haven't seen you on NSI-TV, apart from behind glass. So it's good to have you here. Martin, you're from Schindler. Schindler, one of our main partners. Schindler, a company that makes lifts, makes elevators, but you're working on an aviation project. Well, first of all, explain what your role is here, because we see you during the flights, right at the front as well. One of the key points for Solar Impulse TV, when we're looking at you're nearly always there in that shot. So it's great that we're getting to talk to you at last.
Thanks. Yeah, I'm working at the electrical engineering team of Solar Impulse, and we are here to support the mission team during flights. While the mission team has a very good overall knowledge of the aircraft, we are here to cover the technical details of all the electric and electronic components of the aircraft. It's quite a complex machine, actually. And well, the major electric parts are, of course, the solar generator, the batteries, and the propulsion. But we have lots of electric or electronic devices. A lot of them are custom-made devices, which were designed within our team, so we have to give the support for these components. And yeah, we mainly do that with data coming from the aircraft, so we use a data link from Swisscom. Thank you, Roger.
You're welcome.
And this is our main tool, so the data is coming from our devices to the ground, and we monitor it here on our screens. We have special tools to show trend lines, to do analysis during the flights, to also proactive, foresee things. That's our role here.
Now, this is the longest flight that Solar Impulse 2 will do on this round-the-world flight attempt. And we've been talking about how the plane and the pilot are being pushed to their limits, and every element is being pushed to its limit as well. The last question for both of you is, how have your systems been holding up, the systems you look after, how have they been holding up on this very, very long flight? And I'll start with you, Roger.
Up to now, very well, but there's still a day to go, so I hope it will continue like that.
For now, I'm happy. Of course, we gained experience with the previous flights. We could do some progress with some equipment, and well, we still have some issues. For example, now as was told before, the battery temperature makes a bit of trouble, but I think it's under control, and yeah, it's good to see that we can be confident.
Yes, some overheating with the batteries, which is...
not overheating now, but...
but they have been, yes. The issue has been the insulation as well, and another element that's being pushed to its very limit. But at the moment you're monitoring that, and that is an element that's under control right now.
Exactly. With this monitoring, we can see the trend and act before something bad happens, so that's a good thing.
Okay, well, Martin, thank you very much. Nice to see you. Hope we'll speak to you again soon. Roger as well. No idea what happened with that interruption, some kind of communication nonsense happening somewhere. I think hackers. I'm blaming hackers. You should watch out for that at Swisscom. Thank you very much, Martin and Roger. We're looking ahead to Hawaii, to the end of this enormous adventure, but one thing many of you missed was the takeoff, and that is because we didn't show it. Simple as that. It's the first time, in fact, that we haven't shown a Solar Impulse takeoff. Now, the reason for that was that it took 3 attempts to take off from Nagoya in Japan. And the feeling here after the second attempt was really hard. I think for the team, I can speak for you guys as well, that it was really difficult. We just got to within a few minutes of taking off. All the team in Nagoya were ready, and then we had to cancel. We had a last-minute situation with some of the warnings that we were getting, and the decision was taken to abort. We had weather information that was coming in that was telling us that actually we wouldn't make it to the end. So in the interest of security, we said, you know what, we're going to stay on the ground. So when we got to the third attempt, the decision was taken to say, well, look, let's just wait until we've left Nagoya and we've gone beyond the point of no return, at which point we know for sure this plane will continue to Hawaii. And you can discover that, if you missed it, in this video right now.
The 44-hour flight gave an indication that we should be able to manage, that we can fly through the night, that the airplane has a good performance. Now we have to be able to do it over 5 days, 5 nights at least. So I guess it's still in front of us, but we have a good indication and good morale and a great spirit, and I guess a very good preparation as well. So I'm ready.
Okay, André, we made a lot of emotional speeches for the first 2 attempts to go to Hawaii. Now we make it a little bit more sober, and the circumstances just push us to say that we all support you, André, from all our heart. We wish you all the best, an absolutely great flight, and although I try to make it sober, I'm really moved. You cannot imagine. And Prince Albert is next to me, and he will give the official go, and then the adventure will start, my friend.
Okay, Andre, this is Prince Albert. It's a great pleasure to be back at the MCC and to wish you all the best for this fantastic crossing of the Pacific. So, good sun and Godspeed. And Andre, you are clear to proceed with the takeoff procedures. Thank you. Have a great flight.
Thank you very much, Prince Albert. really great. It's a very special moment. I really hope we can talk together in 5 days on the other side. So looking forward, and thank you for everything.
There you go. So now you've seen it if you missed the landing. Of course, you can watch all of our videos on our website, solarimpulse.com, or you can go to our YouTube channel, going right back until the very first flight with Solar Impulse. And one man who's been there since the very beginning is the man sitting next to me now, Claude Michel from Solvay, first partner to sign up, and a company which has had a very long association with the Picard family. Hello, Claude.
Yeah, of course. We have been on board since 2004, since the very beginning. And in fact, before that, there is a very long-lasting relationship between the Picard family and Belgium and the Picard family and the Solvay family, of course.
And you've been watching this flight, of course, non-stop. I mean, you were there, in fact, I remember, for the second attempt, which we had to abort, and you remember the emotion there. Now we're into this very, very, very long flight, and I'm interested to see from your point of view as one of the partners which has contributed so much to this plane in terms of lightweighting, in terms of improving energy in the batteries, how you feel the plane is reacting.
Well, we feel that this machine is really working absolutely well. We were very confident in the solutions we brought to the plane, whether in the energy capture, so the solar system encapsulation, and in fact the solar generator works very, very well. The same for the batteries. We have been pushing the energy density of the batteries as much as we could, and in fact they work quite well. And we need them. We have seen during the flights, during the cycles, that we go deep in the discharge of the batteries. So we absolutely needed these performances. And of course, the lightweight, without which this plane could not fly.
Yes, indeed. Yeah, went down to amateurs. I can't work here anymore. This is described. I'm terribly sorry, Claude. This has never happened before. We're approaching Hawaii. There's a lot of interference. We think there may be some jealousy from rival partners. We've got hackers. We're going to look into it. We're going to get our security team working on this right away. This will not happen again. You have my word. If it happens again, you can throw a paper plane at my head. Do you hear that? Okay, right, there you go. Right in my face if this ever happens again. Thank you very much. Okay, Claude, I'm very, very sorry about that. You were in full flow when that happened. So the other thing that you said you were really interested in was not just the technological aspect, but also the human aspect. You saw at close quarters, from a human point of view, how psychologically difficult this was to make this leap of faith to take this plane on this extraordinary journey.
Yeah. As you said, I was there when 1 week ago when the decision not to fly was taken. And living, the briefing sessions and the final decision, which took almost 2 hours to be taken, it was an incredible moment for me. It was for me a kind of management lesson, which is worth a full year of management school of the highest level. What was really impressive was all the teams, contributing to the final decision. Every team bringing its competency, his final conclusions, and all this was brought to a global decision by your flight director and Bertrand together. And now, I think the right decision was made not to fly at this moment, and the right decision was made to fly this week. And we see the result, unless we have to wait until tomorrow for the final target.
Have you spoken to the management of Solvay about this? The reason I ask is because you're not just putting a pilot's life at risk, also putting a huge investment at risk as well. What comments did they make about this decision that was taken to fly for 5 days and 5 nights and put everything and push everything to the limit?
Yeah, it's also, as you said, pushing everything to the limits. And I think here what we can learn is about, you know, the quietness of the atmosphere when making a decision. You know, we have to know everything. As you said, also the life of the pilot is at risk, the machine is at risk, the whole mission is at risk, and nevertheless, having all these informations coming, and then having a big unknown, which is the weather, in fact, but making the decision all together is for me something very, very unusual in a company like ours.
Claude Michel from Solvay, great to have you here again. Thank you very much, and I'm sure you'll be here right till the end for the landing tomorrow in Hawaii.
I'll be there tomorrow, yeah.
Well, as you can probably tell, this is not a normal project because normal pilots don't fly 5 days, 5 nights solo. They don't normally, on embarking on the biggest flight, the most dangerous flight of their life, pack a beard and a wig into their luggage, but that's what André Borschberg did. And normal projects like this probably don't have a cartoonist on hand. Well, this one does. He's called Martin Save, and he has brought us a new star, Joe the Shark, who we may meet right now.
So now the airplane is truly fantastic. Communication there is.
So cartoons are put together by Martin Save, who is on my left. Hello, Martin.
Hello.
We've also got Vincent Colgrave. Don't know what he's doing.
Hello, Conor. I don't know anymore.
No, okay. Let's remind you, 3 words. Future is clean. But we'll come to that in a second. I want to start with you, Martin, and talk about the Joe the Shark phenomenon. You told me that after you created Joe the Shark, within about a few hours, he had more Twitter followers than you do. That must have been quite a blow to your ego.
I know. I'm so sad, really, because it's less interesting than me.
And the other thing is, I'm pretty sure that even though you're a good cartoonist, got to say, you're a decent guy. And,
Thank you.
And Belgium's got a good reputation. That's one of the reasons he's over here, isn't it? The Belgians say, send the best over to Solar Impulse. However, to my knowledge, you've never been interviewed by the Times of India.
No, never. But Joe did.
Yes, Joe the Shark. God.
Wow.
This one was close.
You're rubbish. You're rubbish. You all missed.
They're pretty bad.
Yeah. So nice try. Sorry about that. Where were we? Joe the Shark. So Joe the Shark, true story. Times of India, a really, really big newspaper in India. Probably millions of people reading it. It's a very, very big country. They sent a request to our press team that they wanted to interview Joe the Shark, and they sent some pretty searching questions, which Joe answered. Can you just give us an example of some of the questions he got?
Yeah, well, he was asking how I was feeling about André, and he said, of course, he likes André, but he thinks the pilots are pretty chewy because of all of the gear. So they said they'd rather eat fish, but there's no more fish in the sea. So that's why they also support Future is Clean,
Good idea, yes. And talking about the many strategies he's been putting together to eat André. And I think we will be able to get that soon. I don't know when they're publishing that, but as soon as we get that interview, we'll be able to bring it to you at Solar Impulse. It's a true story. Joe the Shark, the biggest star to come out of Solar Impulse. I'm really sorry, Martin.
No, it's okay.
Martin's cartoons can be seen on the Joe the Shark Twitter feed, and you can also see them via solarimpulse.com. And also, Future is Clean. You've done a few Future is Clean cartoons as well.
Oh, I did, yeah, of course. He asked me. I had no choice.
He being Vincent Colgrave from Future is Clean. And Vincent, you have an update for us on the progress of Future is Clean. I think it's worth reminding everyone what it is and what you do once again, though.
That's a good question. What we do is create a movement to gather people who are really understanding the message of Solar Impulse and who would like to join us and bring their voices to COP21 with the pilots to say that with clean technologies, with concrete actions, we can really develop a Future is Clean, something that Joe the Shark agrees on.
And more and more people are joining up every day. If I want to join, what do I do?
Go on futureisclean.org and add your voice. I agree to what is being said, and we have like videos, content. We try to explain more and more every day what are our concrete actions to really give like what's the core message of this movement.
One of the big events that we are looking forward to is COP21. This is the United Nations Framework Conference on Climate Change taking place in Paris in December. What does Solar Impulse and Future is Clean want to contribute to this?
We want to be able to come there and say, look, 2015 was a crazy year. We attempted to fly around the world with a solar airplane. We had a lot of people following us and saying, what you are doing is great. So we want to be able to have a different point of view and to show that with pioneering spirit exploration, you can change the way the world is being run.
Thank you very much, Vincent. Thank you, Martin. Thank you, Joe the Shark, wherever he is. Well, I know where he is. He's waiting for André over the Pacific. Looks like he'll be waiting for a long time because we're getting ever closer. I feel quite sad to say this. This is the last energy neutral morning show of this flight because the next time we speak around about this time, can't tell you yet exactly, we're going to be into the landing show. So the next time I'll be speaking to you will be at 0:30 UTC for the handover briefing, that moment when we look back at what's happened over the last 12 hours with the team who are leaving and what's coming up in the next 12 hours for the fresh-faced team who will take us through to landing tomorrow. It's going to be an exciting time. I don't know how I'm going to sleep, but you can follow us. I think the thing to do now is to stay glued to solarimpulse.com from now right through to the end. And we'll leave you now with some of those paper planes which have been flying around the world. See you at 00:30 UTC. Bye-bye.